Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 20. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajakachaja Stotarasata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prince Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 20. Na prarishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam stira buddhira sammuddho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Na prarishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam stira buddhira sammuddho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Na prarishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam stira buddhira sammuddho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Na, never. Prarishyet, rejoice. Priyam, pleasant. Prapya, achieving. Na, does not. Udvijet, agitated. Prapya, obtaining. Cha, also. Apriyam, unpleasant. Sthira buddhi, self-intelligent. Asamudha, unbewildered. Brahmavid, one who knows the Supreme perfectly. Brahmani, in the transcendence. Sthitaha, situated. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is to be understood as already situated in transcendence. This purport. The symptom of a self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusion, but the false identification of the body with the true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not the body, but is a fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything, which is related to the body. This steadiness of mind is called sthira buddhi, or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul, nor does he accept the body as permanent and disregards the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the Absolute Truth, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Thus he knows his constitutional position perfectly well, without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization, or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. Na prasyet priyam prapya, nodvijet prapya cha priyam, sthira buddhir asamhuddho brahmavid brahmanistitaha. One feature of Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, indeed Krishna's the whole teaching, is that he again and again repeats the same point. And the point is very simple. We're not the body, we are spirit, soul, we are eternal sparks of the Supreme Eternal Krishna, we are his eternal servants, and having misused our independence, we have come into the material world, we have accepted a material body, we have identified with the material body, and because of this identification, because of the desire of the mind and the senses to enjoy the material body, we take birth after birth after birth in the material world. And the process of reversing this cycle of birth and death is to understand that we are not the body, that we are spirit soul. And how do you understand you are spirit soul? You understand you're a spirit soul by controlling your senses. If you do not control the senses of the body, then even if you understand theoretically that you're not the body or a spirit soul, that theoretical understanding is not practical. It doesn't do anything for you. It is like if you're riding a chariot with horses, as long as you have the reins of the horses in your hand, you can guide the chariot in any direction. But if you lose control of the reins, if the horses become wild, then there is no telling where you will land up. There is no telling where you will crash or not crash. You have no control. So strictly speaking, the senses take away our control and keep us in ignorance. When we control the senses, we actually become situated in understanding the spirit. This is the basis. Krishna explains this again and again and again. When Arjuna requested him to teach him, Arjuna was bewildered. The whole idea of the Bhagavad Gita is to teach us through Krishna's teachings of Arjuna. In fact, Arjuna was never bewildered. Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna. Whenever Krishna comes, Arjuna comes with him. But to teach us, he accepts a position of ignorance so that Krishna can speak the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Krishna is supremely pure. He doesn't intimately associate with anyone who's not his pure devotee. So when he requires to teach someone, one of his pure devotees, like Arjuna, takes the position of a conditioned soul to accept the teachings of Krishna so that we, the real conditioned souls, can understand our position. So Arjuna was bewildered. What is he bewildered about? He was bewildered about the same things that we are bewildered about. We don't know what is good for us. We don't know what activities to do for our own benefit. We think that we live in a society where everybody preaches that taking care of the senses is the goal of life. Never mind, you can steal, borrow, you can plunder, as long as you satisfy your senses, then that is the goal of life. This is the society in which we live. And because we cannot do anything about death, we don't talk about it. We don't discuss it. We think there is nothing possible. Prabhupada often quotes one conversation he had in Moscow with a professor of Indology. A professor of Indology, Professor Kotovsky, one of the chairs of the universities in Russia dealing with Indian Vedic culture, who had visited India many times, who had been to many holy places like Puri and other places. He told Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, when the body is finished, everything is finished. Prabhupada was actually shocked, and he would repeat this in many of his lectures, that here is a professor of Indology who's supposed to know the science of the Vedas, science of knowledge. Veda means knowledge, and he doesn't have knowledge of the soul. He doesn't understand that when the body is finished, the soul continues. This is Krishna's first teachings in the Gita. Dehinusmin yatadehe komaram yovanam jara. The dehino, the consciousness within the body, remains the same even though the body changes from childhood to youth to old age. Tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuyate. And after old age, the body dies. And he gets another body. Vasansi jirnani yata vihaya. Just as the clothes become old and dirty, we get new clothes. Tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. In the same way as we change our dirty and old clothes and get new and clean clothes, in the same way when the body becomes useless, we get another body. And this is the first lesson that Krishna imparted to Arjuna. By Arjuna's request, Arjuna realized that he didn't understand what was good for him. He was faced with a perplexing situation to choose either to fight and kill his family members or not to fight. As a kshatriya, as a prince, as a warrior, it was his duty to fight. Because the battle of Kurukshetra was perpetrated on the principle of spirituality, of who would be the emperor of the world, who would take care of the administration of the planet. And according to the Vedic system, The chief administrator of this planet, or the king or the emperor, is a representative of God. Because the planet Earth belongs to God. It is created by God. We didn't create it. It is created by God for a specific purpose. And the king or the emperor of the world has to make sure that that purpose is carried out. And that purpose is God's instructions. Therefore, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, this battle that Arjuna was facing, happened in Kurukshetra, which is also called Dharmakshetra. Dharmakshetra means a place where spiritual activities take place. Very clear as in Bhagavad Gita. People misinterpret the Gita. Some fools and rascals say, Kurukshetra means the body. The 5 Pandavas mean the 5 senses. Oh, bogus. It is there. You can go to Kurukshetra any day. It is on the railway line in India from Delhi. Not difficult to find. It is there today. It contains 5 lakes where you can bathe in, which were created by Lord Parasuram. It is mentioned in so many parts of the Puranas. So the same Kurukshetra was there, and it was decided that we will fight to see who will be the emperor on this battlefield of Kurukshetra. Therefore, and Krishna, because Krishna was present on Kurukshetra, then the war became a spiritual endeavor, a spiritual exercise. So Arjuna became perplexed, and he said to Krishna, Karpanya dosha upata swabhava prichami tvam dharma samuda chetaha. That my swabhava, my internal activity, my internal mission of life, it has become bewildering to me. Dharma samuda chetaha, my consciousness, my chetaha, and my dharma, or my purpose of life, has become samhuda, has become bewildered. I don't know what to do. So, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanam. I am surrendering to you, Shishyasteham. I am becoming your Shishya. Shadimam, instruct me. Tvam prapanam. I surrender to you. This is the process through which we can approach Krishna and through which we can approach Guru, by surrender. Tadvedi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, by seva and by question. This is the process. So immediately Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Immediately Krishna taught him. So we can follow in the same path. We may be bewildered about what is the process of life. We may be bewildered by our attachment to family, to country, to profession. But if we surrender to Krishna, then immediately Krishna takes charge and he guides us from within. I remember when I first became a devotee of Krishna, I was very much attached to reading Bhagavad Gita. And I read one verse in the 10th chapter, verse number 10. And I liked that verse so much that I immediately memorized it. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Krishna says, Tesham, those or them, satata yuktanam, who are constantly connected with me in their activities, bhajate priti purvakam, who worship me priti purvakam, with devotion and love. What is the result of this attitude towards Krishna? The result is that Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. I will give them Buddhi Yoga, or special intelligence, connected yoga. What connected to what? Yena mam upayanti te, through which they can come to me. This is the process. It's not difficult. Krishna is in your heart. You have an independence to choose. You can choose to take direction from Krishna, or you can choose to take direction from your mind and senses. And direction from Krishna are not difficult to find. The Vedas are full. Indeed, Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyu. The purpose of all the Vedas is to surrender to me. So as soon is to know me. Vedaischa sarvair, out of all the Vedas, Veda sarvair, all the Vedas, aham eva vedyo. Aham, me, Krishna says, eva vedyo. I am to be known. Vedanta Krit said, indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. Veda Vid, I am the knower of the Veda. Eva Chaham, that is me. So, no shortage. Either you accept Krishna or you don't. Krishna has been accepted as the supreme teacher, as the supreme Lord for the last 5,000 years at least in our experience. Some of the greatest sages, some of the greatest thinkers like Madhvacharya, Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Vallabhacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimbarka, these are all great personalities who guided the history of India's spiritual emancipation of the Indian people. For thousands of years, they all accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. And Krishna comes himself onto this planet and he takes a human form and he acts just like the Supreme Lord. He acts in such a way that no one can question who is the greatest, who is the most beautiful, who is the most powerful, who is the strongest, who is the richest, who is the most famous, who is the most renounced. Krishna fulfills all these categories to an unlimited degree. So when Arjuna accepts this position, when he understands that actually I am not able to make progress, to get peace of mind on my own, and he surrendered to Krishna, knowing that Krishna is the greatest authority. He didn't just surrender to Krishna because Krishna is his friend. Later on in the Gita, Arjuna says, Param Brahma Param Dhamma, you're the supreme Brahman, the supreme spirit. Param Dhamma, the supreme abode. Pavitram, you're the supreme pure. Susukam, Adi Devam, Ahustvam, Rishaye Sarve. And this knowledge about you is proven, is attested by the greatest sages, Asita Devala Vyasa. So when Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, there is an understanding that Krishna becomes the teacher and Arjuna becomes the student. No more friend. Now it is teacher and student. And what does the teacher say? Asocyanam vasochastvam prajnavadam sabhasase. My dear Arjuna, you are speaking such nice words. Prajnavadams. You want to be free from violence. You don't want to fight. You don't want to kill your relatives, your friends. You don't want the kingdom. You're renounced. You're willing to go to the forest. All these are very beautiful words. Prajnavadams. But Krishna points out that these words are asochan anvas, you are lamenting for something which is not worthy of lamentation. What is that? Gatasum agatasumscha nanu sochanti panditaha. Even though you're speaking like a pandit, a real pandit does not lament for the body, coming and going. Gatasum agatasum. Gatasum to go and agatasum to come. So coming and going is not something a pandita or a learned man wastes his time with. A learned man is concerned with the spirit. And what is the spirit? The spirit is seen in three aspects. Vadantis tattva vida. A pandit is a tattva vida, one who sees the truth. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan. He sees the truth in three aspects. In Brahman, or the spiritual effulgence which maintains the whole creation, just like in the material world, the sunshine, the sun globe, by its power, by its light, it maintains the whole universe. So similarly, the Supreme Sun, Krishna, he maintains the whole creation, and that is called Brahman. And not only is he maintaining the whole creation, but in each particle of the creation, in each atom, he is present as the super soul, Paramatma. So Brahmeti, the effulgence, Paramatmeti, the localized consciousness, and Bhagavaniti. Bhagavan means he is also a person. Krishna is a person. That's why we are persons. We are persons because our Father, Krishna, is the Supreme Person. Like Father, like Son. Not that because we are persons, we imagine God to be a person. That is the Mayavadi philosophy. No. Because God is a person, therefore we are also a person. Because we are created by God. We have nothing to do with our creation. When we die, because we lose at the moment of death, unless we are God conscious, we lose the capacity to choose our future. As soon as we die, we are judged according to our previous karma. And because of our desires at the moment of death, if we are in bodily consciousness, we desire to continue to enjoy our senses. We don't like to die. We fight death, but death is given to us without any mercy, without any conditioning. And when death comes, if we are still absorbed in bodily conception, we take another body. That body may be higher or it may be lower. It depends on our activities in this life. But if you're Krishna conscious, then Krishna says, if you understand me, if you come to the moment of death wanting to be with me, then you come to me. Chamma karma chame divyam. That is the criterion. That to understand that Krishna's birth and Krishna's activities are transcendental. It's not a normal human being. When you understand that Krishna is transcendental, that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, is your Supreme Master, then you can desire to go to Him. Evam yo veti tatvaraha. When you know this in truth, just knowing theoretically that Krishna is the Supreme is not enough. You have to put it into practice. And that is tattvataha, to know it in truth. This is the condition. Knowing Krishna's birth and activities, being spiritual, and putting that knowledge into practice, then tyakta deham punarjanmanaiti. When you give up this body, you don't take another birth. Mam iti, you come to me. And when you go to Krishna, you don't come back to this material world. So, this is the very simple explanation of our relationship with God. It is not difficult. Simply by chanting the holy name, by reading the Bhagavad Gita, by associating with pure devotees. When we read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. And we are associating with a personality who has the power to take us out of this material world. Because he himself, Prabhupada, if you read his writing, if you listen to his lectures, if you try to understand Prabhupada's position from every point of view, he acted like a liberated person. He completely dedicated his life for the mission of Krishna. That is one of the conditions for becoming a spiritual master. That you have no other business except Krishna's business. And what is Krishna's business? Krishna's business is to enjoy his eternal relationship with each and every one of us. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we are Krishna's children. Krishna loves us. So anyone who works to bind that love between the living entity and Krishna is a real spiritual master. Good. Thank you very much. So we have some comments from Devananda Dubey. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Deva Oni Ekadashi Ki Subkamanaye. Thank you very much. Today is Ekadashi, very special Ekadashi. Today is also the disappearance day of Gorkishore Das Babaji, the spiritual master of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And we also have Krishna Premavati Devidasi reporting from India, Dandavats Prabhu, Pranam, and Krishna and Mandi Priya from South America, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any more comments, please feel free to comment, and we will see each other again next Wednesday. Haribol.